Welcome to another episode of the podcast. My name is Sachin Mandot. I am the host of your podcast. I live in Toronto, Canada, and I work in tech. But podcasting, talking to different people of different walks of life related to business and sometimes in other areas is also my passion. Today, I have Sujal Sancheti with me. Sujal is based out of Dallas, Texas. She is an architect by her education, but she is a fitness enthusiast, a nutrition coach, and also I think she also teaches people how to stay fit. So, welcome Sujal to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Sujal, a brief introduction about yourself, to the people who are listening on the podcast.
Sure. I'm Sujal Sancheti. I live in Dallas with my two daughters and my husband. And uh, my journey started especially in nutrition field, when I was diagnosed with my health conditions at a very early age, I think at around 32-ish. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's when, I was like diagnosed with pre-diabetes and high LDL cholesterol. All the numbers were like havoc. And that's where, I understood, okay, time to really, focus on my health. And I started pursuing more knowledge and nutrition, officially got certified. And yeah, that's where, I have my own company called NutriFit World, and I help busy, especially South Asian professionals, help them, with their metabolic health, improving blood markers like blood sugar, blood cholesterol, hypertension, and lose excess weight along the journey.
So, Sujal, you started at 32. If you don't mind me asking, what's the age right now? If you don't mind me
Okay.
asking.
Of course not. No, no. I absolutely love talking about the age. It's just a number, anyways, right? So I'm 41. I'll turn 41 now. And yeah, I think one part that I missed was definitely the powerlifting part, but I'm sure we'll touch on that as we move forward.
Yeah. So you're sort of, I've seen both, you're put before and after pictures. So you're sort of reverse aged. Generally, when you move from 30s to 40s, people sort of put on weight and they sort of become less agile. You have sort of you've transitioned to earlier age or, in fact, increase your metabolism with your fitness journey along the way.
I think that's the beauty, that's the beauty of when you actually understand how food really fuels you. And it's not just the coping mechanism to your stress, or it's just not something that, you just want to enjoy just because you like tasting different foods, but also when you shift your mindset and start thinking about how this is nourishing my body, my soul, how can I use this tool to actually make me feel good and, be more energetic, be more athletic. Um, when I was diagnosed with, these health conditions at that early age, that was an alarm for me, especially with two daughters, two young daughters, and what kind of role model I was going to be for them, right? With these
Yeah.
many health conditions, and I think when you really understand nutrition and your lifestyle, how like just keep moving, just simple things, and I think that adds up and makes a huge difference.
So let me talk about my target audience. So people who are listening to me are mostly South Asians who are generally 25 to 40 in age group and desk workers, most of them. So
Right.
what is the health condition of those? So you interact with a lot of them. What is the general observation about the health of those that demographic that you see on day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I majority of the times I work with desk professionals, and something that I see in very very common is uh, like lots of feeling like no energy to do anything. They're highly under stress, always performing with high deadlines, pressure jobs. I like to think of it as a car that is parked in the parking lot, but the engine is on. So it's almost like, they're static, but then with high stress all day long. And with the additional lifestyle issues like more sedentary life and not really paying attention to what goes in your mouth. I think these things just makes that entire scenario just worse. And then they start seeing uh, health conditions like hypertension. They I think 30s is where they really start observing, okay, something is not right, something is just not working how it used to work earlier. So yeah, it's I think that the desk job just makes it hard for someone to really, stay fit and, stay really, really live to its optimum level. The problem is, it's not just, how specifically desk job is, but it's really the mindset. Just because I'm sitting on the computer, oh, I can't do anything, or I have no time to work out, or I have no time to, really cook my healthy meals. Uh, we just need to shift that mindset. And it's pretty much doable and very easy, I feel.
So now that I've seen a lot of my Canadian or American colleagues or people whom I see around every day, they tend to be much more fitter, and even after eating, I think similar amount of junk food or the others that we do. So I guess South Asians need to work extra hard because it's something in genetics.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Sachin. There are some interesting stats I think I would like to begin this with.
Okay,
Uh, like the number one silent killer globally is heart disease. Not just India,
okay.
not just Nepal or Bangladesh or US, but just globally, it's the number one health condition, that is heart disease. And in US especially, 1 in 20 people have some or the like cardiovascular disease condition. Okay, 1 in 5 people have some silent attack, like in their early 20 or mid 20 to 30s. So just imagine
Okay.
the damage is just done. Damage has been already done. You don't even know that you got an attack. And now, because of genetically, South Asians tend to have 4 times higher risk than any other ethnic group. So you understand the severity of this, health issue. Uh, there are multiple reasons, call it genetics or the kind of, the dietary culture that has more refined carbohydrates, more fatty food, etc. That just adds up and, make it so harder for us, for South Asian population. And yes, they need to work a little extra.
So just look at our breakfast. Typically, I come from a Rajasthani family, by roots, and our breakfast is samosa kachori most of the time.
Mm.
Samosa is nothing but a fried carb, like potato, just it's a trans fat thing.
It's just
So
transfat,
that,
yeah.
yeah, we do not have any protein in day to day life.
Yeah. Yeah, South Asian, especially Indian meal, if not, uh, how do I say? Okay, let me rephrase this. Okay, we really have very good options. Okay, we really
Yeah.
have very nice. The traditionally the meals or they were designed, beautifully. The problem is, this industrial revolution. The problem is when we got into more sedentary life and then we realized that we do not have enough time. Okay, that is one part of this equation. Second thing is, yes, in general, we have, like Indian especially, there is always uh, the happiness or, everything is around food. Okay, there's celebrations happening around food, festivals, name it, like there are so many. And every time you think of food and, like a way to indulge or way to just celebrate, yeah, there are these samosas or kachoris or and there are other fast food options as well, right, like the pav bhaji or nowadays you name it. And I see so many food bloggers just uh, capturing all these uh, local, like the
The-
gully thing, right, cow gully and
yeah.
stuff like that. And when I look at that, I'm like, wow, this is where everybody just loves it. The problem is when you just keep it like once in a while, it's fine. But as a breakfast option, can you just have it on a daily basis? You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. I guess food has now become more like eating out has become like, okay, I'm a food enthusiast or I'm a foodie, so I have to do it every day. I
Yeah,
think that so we came from a deficiency
yeah.
culture to, we have surplus and now that's affecting us.
Very good point. South Asians are more predisposed to store this visceral fat. Visceral fat is the type of fat that is wrapping your internal organs. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
Now, the problem occurs when there is too much of visceral fat, which is significantly impacting your insulin resistance.
Okay.
That's where insulin resistance is one of the key factor that actually gives birth to all the other metabolic chronic conditions. You call it like higher triglyceride levels, higher LDL levels, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, dementia in future, Alzheimer's, oh my God, cancer. Insulin
Okay.
resistance has been like researched so much because that is something, if we can just control, and especially South Asians need to work on that, like in a preventive manner more than curing manner.
Okay. So now coming to the part, we've talked about how health issues happen with South Asians, the common cause, but you've been working with this demographic for last 10 years. So how do you typically start their journey if someone comes up to you say that, okay, I have these health issues? Now, what should they do at the first level or the first stage? How can they make it more healthy?
Um, so now you have this finance podcast, right? I would like to answer this from that language. I always like to give some analogies or some examples. I think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
perfectly
easier to
fine. Cricket,
connect.
finance, Taylor Swift, anything works.
Anything works, right? Whatever connects to the audience.
Yeah.
I like to, start first by just doing some audit, you know. Let's just do the audit. What is auditing? You really need to understand, okay, where is your money coming in or going out, or what is your
Yeah.
saving and all this. Like, without that, can you design your budget? Can you design your financial plan for next, 1 year or whatever coming years, right? Similarly, you need to audit your lifestyle because when someone comes to me, mainly when they come to especially help us with improving our blood markers or help us lose weight. uh, there is no point in simply just giving, okay, hey, just start eating this, because when you just do take that approach, you will just gain, good health, or you will improve all the markers only while you are just following that specific direction,
Okay.
specific, steps, the recipe. But the recipe for long-term success is really understanding what is the trigger. Why am I in this first place, right? Why am I developing these problems? Why am I not able to just do it on my own? And once you start looking at as a whole, you start understanding, okay, I think my nutrition needs to get better. Maybe out of 4 or 5 takeouts, I need to take it down to one or two. Okay, maybe I can start walking more. I think right now all I walk is maybe just 2,000, 3,000 steps a day. How about I can just add another 15 minutes? Can I just start adding 15 minutes? So starting small is the key. Simply just because one day you went to doctor and one day you just found out all these health problems, there is no way you should jump on some kind of like extreme program right away. I feel that initial transition, understanding why you want to do this, because that why eventually really keeps pushing you when things are not right, when life happens, uh, when you are not having the same willpower or same motivation, right? And that's when the why really helps you. So yeah, I mean, I think to answer your question, uh, the starting point is really just understanding where you are before taking any step, like completely doing
Okay.
a nice deep analysis, and then just taking like small steps that can be done easily for a few weeks and until you are confident that, okay, I think I have got these habits dialed in, that's when I'm gonna go take next steps.
Okay. So basic synopsis is do things more consistently and once at a time because a crash diet might not work out.
100% it will not work out. It's not even
You have
like
to
there
be
is
consistent.
possibility. Yeah, you need to, and again, many people I've seen, they just blame themselves for not being consistent. They start taking that blame over the period of time that it's me, I am feeling, oh, I started, but then I gave up, right? And then they are just afraid to do it again because somewhere they are attaching that process with their identity, like they start identifying themselves as a failure, and which is more dangerous, I feel. So instead of really setting up high goals, how about you can just start taking five like small wins, and in order to get small wins, the goals needs to be small as well, right? uh, this is uh, this is like, okay, someone wants to really get better at uh, deadlifting, for example, and this person just wants to lift heavy weight all the time. Now what will happen? He's just gonna burn out. Okay, his body
Yeah,
is
there will be
eventually gonna
injury,
give up.
right?
Yeah, there will be so many things, right? So I think once you have a like a solid plan, okay, this is my end goal, and how can I break it down into weekly goals, and then how can I break down my weekly goals into daily goals? So do the reverse engineering and then start, working in that direction by taking smaller steps. And then by the end of the day, you need to again just analyze, okay, did I do it? Okay, whatever I decided in the morning, did I do? And if not, then take the change, then just ask different, more tough questions like, why did I do it? Am I lacking the accountability partner? Am I lacking the structure? Am I lacking the environment for my success? If my pantry is like full of all processed food all the time, how long can I use the self-control muscle? Right? Eventually
So
I just
that's
give
a
up.
very important point. That's a very important point. So desis in US and Canada, they end up going to Costco and they end up picking up all those big packets and boxes, and then you eventually munch on them.
Yes. uh, have you seen that during COVID as well? Or also, sometime I guess when the Canada, I think there was shortage of rice or flour, I
Yeah,
guess, and then
yeah,
then we just buy in like huge amount, and then just
huge
because
amount.
it should not go waste, then we start just consuming it even more. You see the mindset here. Uh, I think, I mean, you're right. It's also the success, the environment for success, like Costco, especially, or places,
Any other store for that matter, not
any
just
other
Costco, any
store for
other
that.
place.
I agree. Any other store, there is just too much processed food available, and on the name of healthy food. Uh, so many times when I check out the package and it shows like, okay, high protein chips, etc., or high protein oats or whatever it is, and then when you look at the label, I mean, there are so many added sugars, or there's corn syrup, there are other ingredients which are not that healthy for you. So you will actually end up, you'll be doing more better for yourself than buying these, how do I say, like the
The bundle products or the
bundle
bigger
products.
boxes,
Yes, and also maybe, the converted, like, आई थिंक हिंदी में
ready
बेटर
made.
रहेगा.
Yeah,
क्या
हिंदी
मतलब
में
किसी का
हाँ.
रूप चेंज करके आप उसको खाने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, एंड दैट जस्ट एड्स अप, दैट जस्ट मेक्स इट इवन हार्डर. So
Yeah.
sometimes just natural state, just eat it, you are better off.
Okay. So I guess that was the end of my questions. Sujal, thanks
Yeah,
for answering these questions and hope people who are listening to this find value. I'll put your email address and links in the description so that if someone wants to get in touch with you, they can do that.
sure, sounds good.